This was an absolutely perfect answer. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about NBA player Jonathan Isaac answering a reporter's question about why he does not want to go out there and get the shot like 90% of the NBA. Now, before I get into the video in more detail about this particular question, let's back up a little bit. I covered Jonathan Isaac last year. Remember during the NBA bubble where you had Black Lives Matter and blazing on the basketball court and guys were kneeling and doing the fist up and wearing Black Lives Matter t-shirts? Jonathan Isaac did not do any of that. When they're playing the national anthem, he had on this white Magic jersey, no BLM shirt, and he stood up. And I'll place that particular picture on the screen before you. So Jonathan Isaac is no stranger to controversy. He is an ordained minister in a time where Christianity and religion is kind of frowned upon, especially in leftist liberal circles. So he is a man of conviction, a man of faith, and a very intelligent man on top of all of that. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you'll hear Jonathan Isaac give his reason for not wanting to get the shot. And again, this couldn't have been said any better. After we get done with that, I'll talk about what he said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep detail analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Jonathan, Josh Robbins with The Athletic. What is it about the vaccine that makes you hesitant to get it?
I would start with I've had COVID in the past, and so our understanding of antibodies, of natural immunity has changed a great deal from the onset of the pandemic, and is still evolving. I understand that the vaccine would help if you catch COVID, and you'll be able to have less symptoms from contracting it. But with me having COVID in the past and having antibodies with my current age group and physical fitness level, it's not necessarily a fear of mine. Taking the vaccine, like I said, it would decrease my chances of having a severe reaction, but it does open me up to the, albeit rare chance, but the possibility of having an adverse reaction to the vaccine itself. I don't believe that being unvaccinated means infected, or being vaccinated means uninfected. You can still catch COVID with or without having the vaccine. I would say, honestly, the craziness of it all, in terms of not being able to say that it should be everybody's fair choice without being demeaned or talked crazy to, doesn't make one comfortable to do what said person is telling them to do. I would say that's a couple of the reasons that, I would say I'm hesitant at this time, but at the end of the day, I don't feel that it is, anyone's reason to come out and say, well, this is why or this is not why. It should just be their decision, and loving your neighbors, not just loving those that agree with you or look like you or move in the same way that you do. It's loving those who don't.
All right. Now, you saw that. You heard that. Now, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You get a round of applause. That was great. He couldn't have said that any better. Now, the elephant in the room for me, the obvious thing is he is 23 years old, an NBA player in peak physical condition. Now, as far as a virus and being hospitalized, what did they say? 78% are obese. And if you are elderly, like a senior citizen or close to that, you have a high chance of going to the hospital. So those 2 factors he does not have at all. He's 23 years old. He is in peak physical condition. He is an NBA player. He trains all year. I mean, what more do you want? And on top of that, he's already had the virus, so he has antibodies. What the vaccine does, as far as what I know, and if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments. What the vaccine does is give you, I guess you would say, artificial antibodies or real antibodies. I'm not really sure. But it's supposed to do the same thing as having the virus would do for you, which is granting you some kind of immunity. It's not perfect immunity. You can catch the virus again after having the virus. You can also catch the virus after having the shot. All that the shot claims to do is prevent hospitalization. And he said that right there in the clip. However, if we're going to talk about vax mandates, things of that nature, and I'll get to that in a greater detail in a minute. If we're talking about vax mandates, things of that nature, then why would it make a difference for him to get it if you could still spread it to other people? Because the main thing they say, meaning those who are opposed to guys like Jonathan Isaac, like Kyrie Irving, like Bradley Beal, who all don't want to get the shot and they're vocal about it, the one thing they say is, oh, well, you got to protect others, not just about you. Well, how are you going to protect anyone else by having the shot if you can still spread it and catch it the same as someone who is unvaccinated? All that the vax does, from what I know, is prevent hospitalization. That's it. And I've never seen an NBA player get hospitalized with the virus. None of them, because again, these guys are young, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, top physical condition. They train all year. I mean, they're not going to the hospital with this. They're just not. You're talking about cardiovascular. I mean, that's the main thing that it attacks your breathing, right? So if you got good cardio, you're going to be prepared for that type of assault on your breathing. And these guys run and jump all year. That's what they do. So their cardio is like a soccer player, a swimmer, or something like that. Maybe even more than some of the NFL guys. And I'm not sure if any NFL guys have gone to the hospital. I don't think so, because again, they're young as well. Top peak condition, physical condition. So it's just not really a thing. You can't really protect anyone because you can still catch it and spread it with the vax. So what's the point? Now, this is really interesting because the NBA came out and said that there won't be a vax mandate from the NBA itself. So Adam Silver, the commissioner, has not put a mandate on the players. However, they're trying to quote unquote target players. 90% of the league is allegedly vaxxed. 10% are just not going to do it. And the NBA, from what I'm reading, they're saying that the 10% are being influenced by quote unquote conspiracy theorists, and they're following YouTubers and, you know, things of that nature, and they're getting wrong information. But at the end of the day, if there's no mandate, if I can choose to do whatever I want, then what's the problem? The problem is politics of certain NBA cities. That's the problem. It's not even the NBA. If the NBA says it's not going to be a vax mandate, it's all good, do what you want to do, then that should be it. Whatever I want to do is my choice. My body, my choice, right? In the real way. That should be the end. However, in certain cities like New York, where Kyrie Irving plays, Los Angeles, New Orleans, San Francisco, they have vax mandates on the arenas and also, I think, in the city. So, prime example, I think, was it Andrew Wiggins plays for the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco. The arena they play in has a vax mandate. So in order to go into the arena, you have to be vaxxed. It doesn't matter if you are an NBA player, an NBA coach, one of the concessions guys, one of the maintenance crew, a fan, a spectator, season ticket holder. It doesn't really matter who you are. To get into that arena, you must have the vax. So what that would mean for an NBA player is he could not play in half of his team's games if you have that particular arena as your home arena, because you play half of your games at home and then the rest away. That's how it works in the NBA. So you would miss half of the season. Now, if you're under contract and, you know, what are you going to do? They're going to have to trade you, buy you out, or do something. Or they're going to have to let you just not be privy. You have to pretty much get an exemption from the rules. Now, if you get an exemption, what about everybody else? What about all the normies? What about the fans? What about the staff, the maintenance, the concessions, the coaches? What about everyone else? Do they get an exemption as well? So really, it's politics meeting private business. We can't give you an exception because we can't give an exception to anyone else. So you got to just play ball. So when the NBA said there won't be a vax mandate, I'm not sure if that was very well thought out, because they're saying one thing, but at the same time, they are capitulating to cities that have vax mandates. So maybe they want to try to blame the city that's having the mandate, but does it even matter if you're still trying to convince guys to go out there and get the shot? It's weird. Then you digging up guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar talking about, oh, well, if guys don't want to get the shot, they need to get traded, they need to get cut, or whatever the case may be. Stephen A. Smith talking about, oh, they need to get traded, he won't be able to play. How about this? How about dropping the ridiculous mandates? Or how about this? How about accepting religious exemptions or medical exemptions or, immunity exemption? If you already done had the vax and you got the antibodies, why get vaxxed again? For what purpose? You're not going to the hospital. You're not going to be overwhelming the staff, and you're not any higher of a risk of spreading it than if you had the shot, if you don't have the shot. So what's the ultimate purpose? I think it's about control. I think it's about dominance. I think it's about trying to assert one's will over someone who does not want it. That's what I think. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Jonathan Isaac for standing up for his convictions, being the Christian man, not being afraid to say so, unapologetic in his faith. And shout out to all the other guys in the NBA, like a Kyrie Irving, like a Bradley Beal, like a Andrew Wiggins, and more. They say 90% of the league is vaxxed. I'm not sure if that's true. It's probably a lower percentage than that's vaxxed from what I'm able to see. They're talking about Kyrie Irving may lead a quote-unquote vax civil war because a bunch of guys are coalescing around him and they want to kind of go against the league. Shout out to all these guys who are standing up for themselves, because this could be a thing that goes beyond the NBA. When you got a lot of money on the line and big name people, high profile people, and everybody's black, I mean, it could be a race thing. It could be a personal freedom thing. It could be millions of dollars, if not billions, would it be, that are on the line. You're talking about guys like Kyrie Irving, big money contracts, the team, the New Jersey Nets, well, New York Nets now, Brooklyn Nets. That's billions of dollars right there. You're talking about guys that are trying to go win a championship. TV is all kind of stuff involved. So I think this is going to be a good thing to fight back against the mandates. One thing that I know that gets people to talking is money. When the money is at risk, when the money is in jeopardy, things start to kind of move and shake. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How you feel about what's going on with Jonathan Isaac and Kyrie Irving and Bradley Beal and Andrew Wiggins and more? These guys in the NBA and other professions as well, doctors and whatnot, who say, you know what, I don't like this mandate. I don't want to get this thing. I don't need it. Science tells me I don't need it, right? You got immunity. You already didn't had it, and you can't prevent the spread with it. So what's the point in having it? If it's about protecting others, how do I protect someone with a thing that cannot protect them? All that the vax does, from what I'm reading, is protect the person who gets it. That's it. Nobody else. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.